Hello and welcome to CyberPulse, brought to you by the National Cryptologic Foundation. I'm your host, James Walsh, and together we'll be diving into cybersecurity news and events, as well as candid conversations with leading voices in the cyber community, from industry innovators and government officials to top academics and frontline cybersecurity professionals. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cyber Chats and Cyber Pulse. We have a very fun crossover episode for you. My name is Kennedy Taylor. I'm the host of Cyber Chats. If you haven't had a chance to listen yet, we like to talk about all things cyber and increase education for those who maybe aren't so familiar and get you interested in cyber. It's what we do. And James, what do you guys talk about with Cyber Pulse?
Cyber Pulse is more for people in the industry trying to stay up, trying to broaden their horizons. Most of our guests are people established in the field.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the reason we're here talking today together is because it's about a topic that we think is relevant to all. It's relevant to the youth in my group, as well as the industry professionals in James's group, and adults in general.
And the parents.
So what is that topic? Drum roll, please. Life360 and similar applications. Okay. So let's put it into perspective. James, what is Life360?
All right. So we're going to refer to Life360 a lot here, but I think it's fair to say that this applies to all of the similar apps in that genre.
I thought you were going to say another word that starts with S. Stalker app.
Well, yes. So Life360 is a family safety app. At least that's how it's marketed. That lets you see the real-time location of people in your circle. So they make you set up like a family circle, and then you can watch everybody. It's often used by parents to keep track of kids, to check in on elderly family members. And I guess it makes it easier to know they're safe. The app works by combining GPS and Wi-Fi and mobile data to give you an accurate location. It can also tell you the speed when they're moving. And if the internet connection's weak or unavailable, maybe it doesn't update quite right.
And similar apps, I was definitely thinking about Find My iPhone, like we've mentioned before. And there are different apps where you can share your location. I mean, even on Instagram now and Snapchat, right? There's a map where you're sharing your location. So sometimes it is shared amongst your friends. Sometimes it's amongst couples that are dating. I may or may not have a device on my dog, right?
It's different.
So there are different uses that we've seen in our daily lives for this.
Yeah. Well, and I guess to me, the big difference with something like where you drop a pin to let people know where you are, or you share a one-time location through an app, and something that is always telling people where you are no matter what.
And also what's being done with that information, right? Who can see it? Is it just the intended party, or is it, going around?
Well, interesting you should ask. So, there's privacy issues. So one of the biggest reasons that people don't like this kind of app is that their movements are no longer private from anybody that has access to the app. Typically, it's a parent or maybe a significant other, but not necessarily. Anyone being excessively monitored is going to feel untrusted, unsafe. And, on a lighter side of that, what if you're going out to get a special gift for your husband that you want to be a secret, or to plan a surprise party, and he looks at the app and he's like, what's she doing at that store? And then it's kind of blown. And like Life360 also saves your home address and frequently used locations into the app. And they claim they have strict privacy and security policies. But like an article by the Markup reported, Life360 sells its users precise location data to data brokers. Life360 says the data doesn't reasonably identify you, but I mean, we've seen this kind of thing with data brokers before, so.
Yeah, it's not too difficult now, especially with AI. It's not difficult to identify someone, even just by their patterns. But
Yeah.
I will say the point of us talking about this, right, for those listening,
Mhm.
is we're not telling you what's right, what's wrong to do for you or your family. We definitely want to make sure that you're informed because, we're bringing up important things, your privacy, your footprint, right? That's everything.
Yeah.
And I'll say to the other side there, we just said some negatives there, but maybe tracking your family is important to you. I mean, we live in the state of Maryland, right? And there have been missing children, missing girls, especially recently. And that's terrifying. And if that's the way that you'll protect your family or feel better by knowing where your loved one is, then I completely see why you would choose to use an app like Life360, right? But we definitely need to think about both sides when making a decision.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, my wife thinks it's a great thing. She's very type A. So her being able to like know where the kid is all the time, especially now that the kid's driving, it gives her a little bit of peace. Um,
And driving's a great point because that is a feature on a lot of these apps where you know what speed they're going. If they've gotten into a crash, you can get an alert, right? It's designed, I think, to be family forward, really focused on safety. It's the back end stuff.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
is my
Well,
concern.
and like you said, this is more about giving people the awareness. If you're using it and you know what the limitations and the caveats are, that's cool. If you're just like, this is the greatest thing ever, let me share everything, then that's not cool. So,
Right.
you know,
And I think one thing that we talk about a lot is not sharing your location with applications on your phone, right? And this is an app that requires your location always, not just, at one at a time or at a set time. It's
right.
always. So,
Yeah, yeah.
why say no to Instagram, but yes to this app is kind of my question.
Because mom wants to know where you are. Um, Yeah. All a problem with all the tracking devices, like Life 360 has Tile, iPhone has Air tags.
The
That's it.
AirTags.
Yeah, yeah. I think Android has one. I don't know.
Life
Um,
360 owns Tile now? Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, there's some association with Amazon in there too. So,
Mhm. It's
but
like how my Oura Ring is associated with Palantir.
so these kind of things are made to help users find missing or stolen property, but they've also been used to maliciously stalk people. You drop a tile into somebody's bag or into their car, and then you can be like, but it's my tag. I have to be able to follow it. Um, in August 2023, some stalking victims filed a class action lawsuit against Tile, Life360, and their business partner, Amazon, for basically promoting stalking. Um, and they specified negligence, defective design, unjust enrichment, which means they were giving context to the data they were providing, intrusion, and multiple privacy law violations. So,
Yeah, not great.
no, it needs some kind of oversight, I think. But
And that's an interesting point too, because privacy, some states have different laws on privacy. So I would wonder how or if Life 360 is allowed in a state like California, who's, a lot more protective, I would say, of its residents
yeah,
than in a state like Maryland.
yeah, they're like this close to GDPR.
So
Yeah.
good for
Well,
them.
and I wonder if you hosted all of this locally instead of scraping it and selling it to brokers, it would be a totally different kind of thing. You might still have some problem with stalkers like using the tiles or whatever, but it would take a lot of the creepiness out, I think, you know.
Yeah. I think we should talk about too why it's being sold to brokers. What do they need the data for
Um,
besides everything?
what do the brokers need it for? That's an
Yes.
interesting question.
And not
They never
necessarily
do
the
say.
brokers, the buyers, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, so Life 360 is going to sell it because it's money,
Hmm.
and then the brokers resell it. But I don't know, man. They're kind of like a dragon, They just want to hoard all the things. They want all the gold. And if you say, "Well, why do you need this?" They're like, "Because I might want it one day."
Yeah. And advertising is a big market too, right? One
It's true.
thing, if you've used Waze, or, I don't know about Google Maps, but Waze definitely sends you ads based on where you are. And if you're driving, you may see, a subway ad, whatever the case is, but they're collecting data from you, right? Seeing where you
Sure.
are in order to send you the best ads. So, of course, that data is being used for that purpose too.
The best ads. Yeah,
The
yeah,
best.
yeah. Hey man,
Something
you
on your
always
route.
right. You always drive by George's Pizza. Here's a coupon for George's Pizza. Yeah,
Sometimes it's
absolutely.
helpful, right? Because it's also about user experience, both on Waze, perhaps Life360. I'm not sure. But yeah, sometimes it's just about making money. And
Yeah,
they're using us and our data to make money.
yeah. I turn all my advertising data stuff off in my phone and my browsers. So
No IP tracking for you?
no, ma'am.
Good. I would expect nothing less.
No, no. My wife's always complaining about the weird ads she ends up with on Facebook, and I'm like, well, turn it off. I think she thinks it's fun in the back of her head. You know?
It is interesting to see what they think you're into.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll get a burner phone and do an experiment.
Oh, great.
That could be fun, right? Um, yeah. So also, as far as child development, parents are into Life 360 because they're worried about their kids, right? And I get that. Although I grew up in a time when you left the house in the morning and your parents said, be home by the time the street lights come on. And that was it. Maybe when you got home, they went, where were you? No. They might ask what you did or who you were with. Maybe like, oh, were you with John? That was it. I think they
But
could, huh?
back then it was much safer, though, right?
Was it? Was it?
Maybe now we're just more aware of all the dangers around us. Is that it?
Yeah. That's, I mean, that's what I think.
Mhm.
So, parents are worried about their kids. So they think, well, my kid's in grade school or middle school. I need to know where they are. Personally, I don't think there's a whole lot of reasons for a kid in grade school to have a phone.
I
Um,
agree.
I think there's a lot of studies showing that it's a negative thing. Um, and there are studies showing the lack of autonomy's negative effects on child development, like this Cambridge University press publication that we will link to in the show notes. So that constant helicopter parenting that
Right.
apps like this enable is actually bad for your kid in the long run.
And in that article, I saw something about emotional abuse, right? How maybe you don't even realizing it, right?
Mhm.
That you're doing this. And I think of, I've had friends in poor relationships as well, right? And wanting to see the other party's
Mhm.
location. And it is, emotional abuse in a way. And it could
Yeah,
also cause, the person watching emotional stress over the situation. That's just completely unhealthy.
absolutely. I mean, like you could be driving home one day from work and there's bad traffic. So you take like a weird route home and you get home and your husband's like, why did you turn off? Who lives over there? Why did you go through that neighborhood? And you're like, what? There was traffic, dude. But he's like, oh, you were seeing Bill. And you're going, what?
But having this technology, I feel like it's causing that in a way, right? It just makes you more anxious.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Um, yes,
Hmm.
I think it does. Because, there's that old out of sight, out of mind, right? Where, okay, my boyfriend left for the day. Oh, he's back. Now he'll tell me what he did all day. Cool. And now you have, oh, my boyfriend's leaving for the day. Where's he going? What's he doing? Why is he near Sarah's house? What did he go to the bar for? I thought they were going fishing. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's no good.
All I can say is I hope that, kids listening that are in, high school, middle school, I truly hope they're not sharing their location with their quote unquote boyfriends. I don't mean to say that because people do marry their high school sweethearts or whatever, but I hope that you're not sharing your location this young because it could just cause really unhealthy habits, I think, for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And there's a level of maturity that I think you need for something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Um, you know,
definitely.
and and like we were saying before, there's a difference between like dropping a pin for somebody or I don't know, going on Instagram or something and saying, hey, look, this is where I am right now.
Hmm.
That's a one-time thing. Whereas apps like this are all the time. So if you think about, oh, all the people in your little friend group have access to this, and then one of them gets ostracized or decides to do something to the group, now they know where you are all the time. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just, it doesn't seem good to me.
It's unhealthy.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, there's an article in the Washington Post that claims that parents are using the location sharing features to track their teens and adult children in ways that resemble emotional abuse. And we'll put that in the show notes too, I guess. It's always good for people to have more reference than just us, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like there are facts behind this, right? And if you do the research
Mhm.
yourself, you'll see that it's all out there. There are lots of
Yeah,
studies.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
just need to be informed.
Well, and you also have the option of like turning off 360's permissions until, I don't know, you're going to let the kid go to a concert one night by themselves or with their friends. And then you turn all that stuff back on so you can track them for that night. Then they get home and you go, okay, I'll just turn this stuff off, as opposed to
Mhm.
like tracking them all the time.
I know. I wonder if, I mean, obviously there's not a policy preventing this from happening right now at this time, but
Mhm.
in a perfect world, the only way I see this working is if they have control of their data and they're not selling it. If they could promise, right, that they're using some sort of encryption method, or I don't know, just something to protect the data as well. I mean,
Right.
this is like borderline PII, and maybe some of the information they
Oh,
have is PII for sure.
yeah.
They have our, phone numbers. So just something to think about.
I would argue that home address and real time location is PII.
Yeah. I don't, that's true. They would know that it's your home address because I think there's an option in there to say like home for each of the
Yeah.
locations.
Well, and
School.
even if they don't give that up, right? If I'm watching you and your phone stops for 8 to 10 hours every day in the same spot, that's either work or you're home,
Fair.
right?
Yeah.
And then if I'm watching it long enough because I'm a stalker and I don't have anything else to do, because that's why they're stalkers, I'll find those two spots and then I know one's home and one's work. And then I get on Google Maps and I pull up one of those cool maps of the area and I go, oh, well, that's Joe's Pizzeria. That's definitely where she works. And this is some fancy housing development. So that's where she lives.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is PII for sure. You
Yeah.
mentioned hacking. Do you think this data could be hacked?
Oh my. You know, everybody gets hacked. And if
And
you don't
everything
think,
can be hacked.
yeah. And if you don't think you can be hacked or you don't think you ever have been, then you probably are right now. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, yeah, everybody gets hacked. And one of my big problems with these companies that just hoard all this data that they don't really need is that it's just there for the taking from the hackers. If you used the data and deleted it, there'd be no big Fort Knox to go after.
Right.
So
No, you're making me think that we need to go through their policy right now and see, what's their data retention policy, right? What encryption standards are they using for data at rest or, in transit?
3 days.
Stop. I love that.
I don't know. I really don't. The last thing that I will mention for sure, though, is that because Life360 runs all the time, um, it does cause major battery drainage. And one of my fears would be it kills the battery, something happens, and now you can't call anybody and say, "Hey, come get me."
Hey, I need help.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Life360 like throws up a flare where your phone says, "Okay, out of battery. This is my last known location. Sorry."
I think it does.
That would be good.
Yeah. My eyebrows are up anytime an app asks you to keep it open all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I like to do the allow access while the app is open,
Mhm.
and then just turn the app off.
Oh,
But
I close all apps when I'm done. All of them.
Yeah.
All right. So James, what do you think? You're a dad, right? You have a child. Would you feel comfortable using Life 360 with that said child?
So
Or your wife, as you mentioned.
I'm Gen X. I mean, nobody monitored us. The ones of us that survived did fine. So, so I kind of feel like that's, do, so my kid started driving all on her own maybe 2 months ago. Do I get a little twinge when she leaves the house and she's going somewhere? Yeah. But is that natural? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And kind of like my mom did when I was a kid, I figure no news is good news. If nobody calls saying, Mr. Walsh, do you have a daughter? Then everything's okay. Or hi, this is Baltimore County Police. We found your car. As long as nothing like that happens, everything's cool. My wife is the other way. Yeah, there's definitely stuff that I want to
Mm-hmm.
control. Um, but I mean, for me, that's not one of them. And what am I going to do when she goes away to college?
See, I have opposite thoughts here as a woman. So I agree with you, and we brought up a lot of really important concerns that I think Life 360 and similar apps need to address for sure. There's no doubt about that. I'm saying that right now. But in terms of what makes me feel safe, sure,
Mm-hmm.
having my mom or having my significant other track me. I hate saying that, but having them know my location, that does make me feel
But they
safer.
are
If
tracking
I'm
you.
leaving the gym or if I'm, in a place I'm not so comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
right? It takes 2 seconds for someone to steal your phone, steal your keys, and then what, right?
Mm-hmm.
To
Mm-hmm.
make me feel safe,
It's true.
I do like that people have my location.
Well, and
Hypothetically.
and I mean, that's good. That it gives you that sense of security. Um, there are definitely things they could do to make this all more kosher.
Oh yeah.
So
And
yeah,
on the opposite side, I am less safe because I'm using these apps, hypothetically. Because
potentially.
someone could track my location, while I'm using it and use it to hurt me, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't want to make it sound like, oh, they are evil. You know, I also wouldn't say that they're all good. You know, but I think the reason we wanted to talk about this was so that they'd have the awareness to make the decisions and maybe use it in a way that makes them comfortable.
Right.
You
And
know,
to be fair, I think we feel this way about all, if, or at least a lot of technology at this point. There are safeguards that need to be put in place in order to protect us as a population.
yes.
We can talk about AI next.
I think if they made data brokering illegal, that would be a huge boost.
Ooh, yeah. The thing is, there needs to be some sort of, I think, federal regulation on this. It can't just be state to state.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But we need something more like GDPR.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
No, I agree. I really hope for a day when we have something similar to the GDPR. And if anyone's listening right now that plays a role in that process, just
Oh,
know that James and I are happy to help you write the bill. I think we would love that,
or
honestly.
come on the show.
Yeah, or come on the show. We can talk about
Let's talk about it. Yeah. No, that'd be great, I think. Good time.
it. All right. Any last thoughts?
Nope. I think I got everything I wanted to say. How about you?
Yeah, I'll say something that comes up for me a lot when we talk about this conversation is then, the Ring doorbell is then the health tracking apps. So perhaps if you're interested in a topic like that, let us know and we can think about
Parts 2 and 3.
it. Right? Because these are things
Hmm.
we all use. I mean, Ring
Hmm.
doorbell also for safety, right? Also very dangerous. Your face said it all.
I do use a video doorbell. I do a locally hosted video doorbell.
Smart.
So
And a lot of people don't know how to do that, right?
true. It's easier than you would think, but very true. Yes.
Maybe that could be an episode. How to locally host your video doorbell.
Yeah. Get like a little camera,
Yeah.
some screwdrivers, be like, this is how you do it.
Mhm.
That'd be a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this conversation
Absolutely.
as much as we did. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at NCF Cyber, and sign up for updates on our website to get news about when episodes drop and upcoming events. You can also email us at cyberpulse@cryptologicfoundation.org with your questions, guest recommendations, or just to say hi. This podcast is a production of the National Cryptologic Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. The NCF does not endorse any product or company mentioned in this podcast.